This week's Hennessey School Update made possible in part by Garrison Lumber and Eagle Propane. So where are we today?
We are in the training room, it appears. Are we started?
What are we training for, though?
So we're training folks to get better. Though this would be where a student athlete would come get treatments, get some diagnosis if they had concussion symptoms, or if they tweaked an ankle, tweaked a knee. We've got all the places to do whirlpools, do therapy, and all that stuff, and it's called the
cool.
Training room.
See, a lot of people thought by the way, we're on.
Good.
A lot of people thought when
know.
that was being built, that was going to be a weight room. And it's not an exercise room. And Kylie Warren, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Kylie Warren, our
certified athletic trainer,
will be here a little bit later in the show and tell us all about her, because she's new.
New here.
And
she's been here a year, actually. But
right.
Relatively new.
Yes.
Folks,
But you just see her like zooming around. You don't really ever, she doesn't
No.
stop very long to
Kind of
talk.
water
So,
bug, everywhere.
pretty fast.
Yep.
Very cool.
Quick.
This is the town-wide garage sale weekend. Are you having a garage sale?
No, we are keeping our garage.
Okay, good.
So we will not. Don't come by.
We sold our garage. Yeah, so we don't.
Is that why we're meeting in a metal building?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Outstanding.
Good. So what do you got cooking?
Man, I got a list. I said, send me anything that needs to be discussed on the Hennessey School Update, and I got a nice little selection of things.
People are watching. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true. They feel like, well, if I send it out there, then it's actually going to be viewed and what they want to have get done. Still remind everybody about See You at the Pole, which is September 23rd. Meeting with Corey Walker, I think tomorrow in the morning sometime to kind of talk about that. And FCA, Fellowship Christian Athletes, we're going to talk about that as well. This is something here that there's one's in Spanish and one's in English, but it's saying the same thing, just one in Spanish, one in English, about a card that you can get, that you will be getting, and it has money on it for groceries to help kind of offset the cost of when we were out of school. So don't throw them away. They're not a hoax. There's about $250 on there that, again, can be used to purchase groceries.
Really? So who's eligible for this?
They had to be students that were on a free and reduced lunch package in school
before you went to full free.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yes, prior to what Rita has done, and so anybody that qualifies can get this. And is this on the All About Hennessey website, or will it be?
It will be before this airs. So
okay.
Yes.
So, and like one of the things it says, like funds maybe if you already have a card, the funds will be added no later than September 4th. So it's already
that's pretty good. So if this, do they have to go and fill this out, or has this been sent home with the child, or how is this working?
That's some really good questions that I have absolutely no answer to. I did not have time to read the flyer, which will be on All About Hennessey. Rita Huntsberger, the cafeteria manager, our child nutrition specialist at the school, might be able as well to provide some more information. She is a dandy and a little dynamo. So I bet if you called up there and said, hey, could I speak to Rita about the P-EBT card, I bet that she could.
I bet if you actually read the form that we're going to post, it'll tell you the answer to all these things. Yeah. But if you have questions, I'll put Rita's phone number in the description of this video.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Rita will appreciate the fact you've put her phone number out all over the place.
I'm certain she will. Yes. Sorry, Rita.
So we've we have implemented some new guidelines through our Return to Learn, which will probably be a continuing thing. We'll always have to update them. The main thing was we talked about travel guidelines for our activities. Anytime, not just, we think about athletics, but it could be speech and debate. It could be anything else as well. But just some guidelines that will help keep our kids from being exposed when they're on the road to potential infection.
And there's things like the bus isn't going to stop at a quick
bus goes over and bus
store
comes back.
Yeah.
Any meals would either go. The parents the booster clubs could go get the meals and bring them to the students, or they could pack them in a lunch, and then send them with them. But we're just not going to go into restaurants, convenience stores, places like that. If there's an emergency, of course, then the bus driver will use their best judgment to make sure our kids are taken care of. But just in general, we're just not going to do that when we travel. Also, there were some new guidelines for how the CDC is going to decide who gets quarantined and who doesn't. I think we are in good shape. We put seating arrangements in place and seating charts in place. So if someone is diagnosed with a positive COVID test, we know who's immediately around them. And I think as long as we do that, then we can work with the Kingfisher County Health Department, and we'll be able to minimize the quarantines.
And that's classroom and buses.
Classroom, buses, cafeteria, any place the kids congregate. We got to know where they were, when they were there, and who was around them. And that way, again, we can mitigate the number of kids that are out and gone because of an exposure. If we don't have that in place, and we had a kid come off a bus and then the next day is diagnosed with a positive COVID test, the whole bus is quarantined.
Yeah.
And usually that means your whole team.
Pretty important to have that seating.
And it's not the school's choice. The health department and the county health department, the new epidemiologist was very clear that the health department would determine who and for how long someone was quarantined. Mm-hmm. So
they took that from you, and now
we helped out, and we still are involved, and we can help the situation some by help doing the contact tracing for them and getting that information. We work real well with the Kingfisher County Health Department, so.
And you've had really good luck with, good luck if you can call it good luck, but with no spread inside the school.
Right, it's coming from outside in. Mm-hmm. We've isolated it, quarantined folks who need to be quarantined, and we have only had, again, 7 cases and 1 case of a staff member, 7 cases with students. But all last week and so far this week, we've had no new cases.
Okay, that leads me to the million-dollar question that came up at the school board meeting. Do you have sort of a target for when you can start relaxing, like masks and things like that?
Original target was the end of September, because I really felt like when the bigger city area schools started coming back in the first part of September, if we were going to have, at which there are some schools who were open for 2 days and were shut back down, and so I felt that if we got through September without being shut down, we're probably on a path to where we can, in a very controlled way, let some of the restrictions go. If we don't have any cases in the school and the community is showing very low number of cases, which it went way down here the last few days, then maybe in the stands we could start relaxing masks in the stands, but you have to wear them in the public areas. Mm-hmm. Again, all things we'll discuss as we get a little further along in the month.
Sure.
We've only got 2 more weeks.
You don't want to relapse of the whole mess.
No, and that's why it has to be relaxed a little bit, but in a very controlled way.
Sure. Okay. Very cool.
So enrollment forms, we still don't have everybody enrolled. Please go online. If you need help, contact Renee Curry at the school, and also check your emails quite frequently, just as a habit, because a lot of information is going out through email.
A lot of people like you and I that live on email, we can't fathom that somebody doesn't check their email at least once a day, but I know there are people that look at it once a week or not at all. And the main, isn't that your main course of communication with?
Primary, it's the primary course.
So you
through the school generated emails.
Check your email.
That go along with the enrollment package, the wind gauge. Absolutely, because it goes through the all-call system. It goes through the enrollment system.
No, wait a minute. Now everybody isn't already enrolled?
We don't have. We have everybody attending, but not everybody is completely enrolled.
Really? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Got to work on that.
And the thing is, we're not. You have to have a birth certificate, and you have to have a shot record. Mm-hmm. And then we can go ahead and enroll you and get the rest of the paperwork later. So everyone will have that level, because they couldn't start without those things. Okay. But they may be missing a lot of informational stuff off the enrollment.
Okay.
So, travel guidelines, we talked about that. Reiterate Friday night game. Kids either are in the stands with the parents or at home. They're not underneath the bleachers. They're not playing football in the end zones. We just can't have that right now. Students that are sitting in the student section do have to wear a mask. If the student is sitting with the parents, that's kind of up to them. Okay. Again, we recommend, we request.
I noticed Mrs. Avila was there the last home game, and the kids were really doing a good job. The whole student section was.
Yeah, I just can't compliment our community and our folks enough that, again, it was apparent at the board meeting, some folks don't like wearing a mask. I think that was. If there was any doubt, I think it was cleared up. but most folks have worked with us.
Yeah.
And again, I hope that by doing that, we can all benefit from it with becoming more normalized at a quicker pace. But
good. Okay.
We are proposing, and so the board, I've not had a chance to ask the board or bounce this off the board, see what they thought about it, but we're proposing so I'm going to jump on out there. So, the next update may be you and someone else. We'll see how this goes.
This is breaking news. Pay attention.
News, yes.
Okay.
Let me apologize to all the board members. We have 5 wonderful gentlemen that are fantastic board members, but they still could probably cut me loose. So we're proposing a teacher work day from Monday the 28th to practice using the virtual learning equipment. We feel like we're far enough along and we think we've got enough things in place that it's time for us to start practicing that. So Monday the 28th, we need a day that the teachers can just take a break, catch their breath, and we have plenty of days in our calendar to be able to use.
So this is no kids day.
No kids.
So Monday the 28th, get a day off.
Yeah, well,
the kids get a day off.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how you'd say it. That's probably yeah. Monday the 28th, kids get a day off. Teachers
have to work
to have an opportunity to take a breath, to be able to focus on what they're doing and to get a little bit of comfort in using the equipment. It's not hard. It just is one of those things that takes a little bit of time to get used to.
Yeah, once you start using it, I'm sure it'll get easier.
Yeah, and there's just sometimes a little bit of a natural aversion to technology and things that are new and stuff like that. So we do want to get a day in, and then we'll start working once the teachers feel comfortable. That was one of the biggest mistakes I felt we always made with technology is we dumped it in the school without the teachers having a level of comfort, so it wasn't used. And so we need to take time, get the teachers up to speed. And a big part of the problem has been the fact that this software that we're using was really supposed to be rolled out the second week in August, and here we are the second week in September, and we're really just now getting
Okay, so I'm going to burst the bubble here. By the way, we don't talk a lot about what we're going to talk about. We just kind of hang it out there. So let's say we have a blizzard, and school's out for like 3 days. Are the kids going to have to go virtual, or do they get the day off?
Well, it would be a challenge a little bit. They would have to have their equipment. I think if we were able to plan, I would say that day one, while it's all fantastic and new, maybe we didn't do as much, but then as we rolled on, we would start integrating school back in, so we wouldn't get too far behind.
Okay. It had to be a really big blizzard.
Well, right, so. But and the other thing is, by doing this where we can reach out, we could, if we had a situation that we needed to be away. There was 2 weeks that we were without electricity at one point.
Yeah.
Again, if we were without electricity, it'd be a little hard once all the batteries ran out to get stuff around. But still, if there was a reason that it was safer to stay at home, we could continue to have school and not have to use up days and still get out of school on the regular time.
Oh, so you could, by conducting some form of school, that doesn't count as a lost day.
Right.
Oh, well, it's kind of a bonus there.
Absolutely. And that we have kids. I'm hoping we're back to the position that we're at OYE and things like that. So again, a kiddo could go, wash their heifer and turn around and pop open their laptop and go to English class. So they're not missing class. There's always a real and a natural issue when you do something, and by missing class, you're missing out.
Yep.
And so if you could join and see what's going on, you're better off. So there's a lot of ways to apply the technology in a way that won't kill the joy of a snowstorm. So
okay, good.
Couple other quick things. Again, I think I already talked about the fact that we've had no new cases last week, and we have no cases yet this week. And one thing for Mr. Crosswhite was, when they still bring snacks and stuff to school, and typically the individually wrapped kind of treats and things are better, just because of the lessening the opportunity
instead of a homemade type thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now I think I speak for myself and Randy, Ginger, and
now
Kimberly.
You're not talking lunch items. You're talking just snack things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, like
a 4-layer cake in a in their backpack probably wouldn't be a good.
No, and I don't think those would come individually wrapped.
Good point.
So that probably wouldn't apply. But I think if you wanted to bring snacks to the admin office, you would be appreciate it.
Or you get points for that, maybe?
You do not. You do not.
No, you don't
No.
get. No, okay.
No, there's no points. But again, we wouldn't be as picky. So
you had
wait, one thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. The question last time about the Honey and Fred.
Yes,
and all
Fred's
that.
nickname.
Yes. Yeah, that we had a winner, I guess.
I think we did.
But everyone got the idea that my nickname
Oh, this is good.
was Blossom.
Yeah, because I thought you were Blossom, and I
No.
just wasn't going to go there.
No.
But
No.
okay, now
Cindy,
the real story.
Right. I call Cindy Blossom.
Okay,
So it's her nickname. Blossom is Cindy's nickname, not
understand. So what's your
Not mine.
nickname?
Well, I don't. I don't
Hey,
pay-
you!
Yeah, I don't. I'm very rarely listening when she's talking, so I have no idea what she calls me. But I'm sure it varies.
Cindy, call me, and we're going to find out what his nickname is, and we'll work on
I'm
this.
sure it varies with the situation we're
The
in
temperament
at the moment.
of the situation.
Right.
Yes, understand.
So I think that's all I got.
We had a really big thing happen this week. The bus wrap was.
Yeah, they wrapped
was-
it up.
We put that on All About Hennessey, the
Mm-hmm.
picture of the bus, and it went viral. And so people just really, really, I guess, like that.
Yeah.
And
Do you remember a while back I said we have some talented folk here in Hennessey, and one of them is do we use their name or do we not?
yeah, everybody knows Terrell.
Terrell. They did it like 3 times because they weren't happy. And
I think actual Angie Bruner that's on my staff jumped in. She's a graphic designer and helped Terrell really fine tune it and get it because with the scale of it, it was like 40 feet long.
Yeah.
It was enormous, and I didn't realize, but you have to take into consideration all the contours, and it's just a
Yeah,
mess.
to where it all lines back up if you go around the curves and all.
Yeah.
But a fantastic job.
An amazing looking. It's a classy looking rig. If you haven't seen it, check out the
Did a nice
photo
job.
on All About Hennessey. And then this week, Saturday, I guess, is the huge annual cross-country event at the Turkey Creek Golf Course. That's a big deal. There's hundreds and hundreds of kids at that event, and
Right.
it's a real pretty run through that thing.
Right.
So.
And so many credits to Turkey Creek Golf Course for letting us have that event out there. So I've always felt golf was just a really big waste of good pasture.
Good point.
But it works out great when you run.
When you're running on it, or driving a golf cart is always fun.
Right.
Sure. All right. If that's it, then I'm going to turn you loose, and we'll be back in just a minute, and we'll be with Kylie Warren, the athletic trainer.
Fantastic.
See you soon. This portion of our update made possible by S&J Heating and Air and Hennessey's Golden Chick. And we're back! And I have a guest today, Kylie Warren. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, you are.
It is Warren, okay.
Yes.
I saw you have it phonetically spelled somewhere.
Probably Facebook.
That's it.
I usually get Warney or Warren, so
I want to put an
Warren.
E on the end of it or
Like
something.
warning.
Very cool. And Kylie is the head athletic trainer. And I was confused with what is an athletic trainer. I wasn't sure if you were like a nurse or a doctor or a paramedic or what. So what are you?
it's kind of cool. It's a little bit of every profession kind of wrapped into one. I'd go anywhere from doing like physical therapy with the athletes to, diagnosing their injuries and stuff like that. So a lot of times people hear athletic trainer and they automatically think trainer. There's actually a big difference between a trainer and an athletic trainer. So with an athletic trainer, I have to pass a national board exam. And I also am medically licensed in the state of Oklahoma. So most doctors, nurses, EMTs are all medically licensed in the state, and so am I.
That's very cool. Because when we were building the dome, the Eagle Event Center, everyone thought that big room in the back was going to be the weight room or something, and it's not even close.
No, it's not.
I'm going to show some video here that I took a little earlier of Kylie's room and some of the amazing equipment. I mean, you got some really fun toys.
Yes, I do. The athletes may beg to differ whenever they actually have to use them.
Because you hurt them.
It's painful, but it helps them in the long run. So.
you've got things from the cold tubs and hot tubs, so you can go either way.
Yeah, you can do contrast baths or do an ice bath. The ice bath seems to be the cross-country girls' best friends, as well as football. They like the ice baths too, especially after a long week of
And then you have those
football.
tables where you can like work them with like chiropractic kind of stuff, or
Kind of. The back of it sits up, and so do the legs. I can move them either way. So if I have somebody who say they hurt their knee, I could prop up the leg and have them put ice on it, so it's elevating it while it's icing.
Okay.
So
Very cool. Yeah, it's just a really neat. It's one of a kind, isn't it, for like a school our size? I mean, that's something you would see at a university level.
It is, and the kind of tables that we have here are the kind that I had at UCO, and we had just built the brand new facility at UCO, and I really liked them, so
Very
got
cool.
the chance to bring them.
Well,
here.
I guess I bet it was fun being able to build your own.
It was very fun, and I actually teach a sports medicine class now, and the kids actually just built their own athletic training room like online, so they kind of got to do what I did this year.
That is very fun. Now, are you at every single sporting event? I mean, that would be a little overwhelming.
It is a little overwhelming. I try to be. There's, yesterday, like we had football practice going until around 5, and then we had junior high softball at home and volleyball at home. So it is hard to be at every single event, just one of me, but I try to bounce back and forth between the events whenever they're all going on.
And I'm sure like softball is probably a little less risk than maybe football with contact and those kind of things.
And that's kind of where, I have to prioritize which sport has the highest risk of injury. So if I have football practice going on with the volleyball game, I'd probably still stay at football, just because of the risk of injury is higher. But I've always got my phone, so
because they can just call you if they need you or whatever.
And it happened yesterday. I had to run over to the Eagle Event Center in the middle of softball practice, or football practice.
If you see Kylie in action, she's like this little squirrel, and I think there was one time last year you had somebody you had on your bench. I call it your bench. You had somebody had just got injured. You're on the phone, I guess, with your doctor.
Parent. I was on the phone with the
parent.
parent.
Okay. And then somebody else went down. And so you had like 3 going, and she was zooming around, a very busy girl.
Running back out onto the field on the phone with the parent while the athlete's on my table. Yeah.
Well, good. But job security, but I don't know.
It can be brutal sometimes.
So what's the most common thing you deal with? Is it muscle injuries or?
Yes and no. So the biggest thing that I try to do with the athletes is prevention type stuff. So in, say, for football example, we've added in like neck prehab that they do to kind of help try to prevent concussions. They do ankle prehab. So if I can get them working the muscles before it becomes an actual problem, then that's kind of what I try to do the most of is prevention. But, I do anything from evaluation, assessment, diagnosis to emergency care. So it really just kind of depends on what's going on that day.
Now, and you have this, I've seen this really cool little app you have on your phone for concussions. So if you suspect someone has a concussion, they take, how does that work?
So it's called the Sway Medical app. Basically what they do is they test a number of different areas for concussion. So I have every athlete, I think I've got all of junior high and varsity football baselined. So they go in, they take their baseline test, and it tests balance, impulse control, memory, reaction time, stuff like that. And then if, it saves the data on the phone, it's HIPAA compliant, which is awesome. But, if I had, say, somebody needing to take a test, then I could have, say, Coach Hicks baseline them on the iPad, and I could access their live data on my phone.
Oh, so you didn't even have to be there.
Right.
Wow.
So it is pretty cool.
Okay, that would be pretty neat.
It gives you like graphic data, which I think helps especially for parents, because a concussion's not something that you can necessarily see, like a broken bone. So I think it's really cool to be able to show them the data and say like, okay, this is where they were at on their baseline, and this is where they're at right now. So you can kind of see the data go back up towards their baseline. So it's been super helpful, and I think it's important for the athletes to be able to see.
Well, otherwise it was a trip to the doctor and waiting, that long wait thing that you always have. This is like immediate feedback.
It is immediate feedback.
Wow.
I think the data really helps, the athletes, the parents, and the coaches all kind of see, this is where they should be and this is where they're at. Otherwise, concussions, it's hard to.
Well, I feel okay. I must be better, and move on. Very cool. Yeah. So, what do you do on your off time? Which I know you have very little of that because you're at, traveling to all the away games and all this kind of stuff is pretty crazy.
I still like to play soccer. I'll go to the city on the weekends and play indoor. But I get beat up quite a bit now, so stepping back a little bit from that. But hanging out with my dog and stuff like my family. So, just
there's a great picture. If I have time, I'll put the picture up of Kylie with her dog. It's the coolest dog. He's like a little person. What's his name?
Arlo.
Arlo.
Yes.
Even better. He was the hit of when we took all of the football family photos and everything. Yeah. He was
Coach said to bring your family, so I brought my dog.
She did. Very cool. Well, is there anything else you want to tell people about what you do or what your plans are or where you kind of see our sports program being? Or
I like the fact that I got to kind of start a sports medicine class this year. I think it's going to be super important for the kids. We've got quite a few middle schoolers in it right now, and so we watched the movie Concussion just recently. So we're actually talking about concussions in class right now, and I don't think that any of them really realized how serious that they can be. So they were all pretty excited about learning, and they're really eager to learn about sports medicine. So it's fun for me to be able to share what I love with my students. So
very, very cool. Well, all right. Well, it was really nice meeting and visiting with you. I mean, I work with you on the field quite often, but we never get to visit because she's so busy running around. But well, great. Thank you, Kylie, and we'll see you on the field, I guess, Friday
night.
All right. Good deal. That's all we got. Tune in next week for the Hennessey School Update, Dr. Wood Show. This week's school update made possible by Community State Bank and Cordry Greit's Funeral Home.